Denise. Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. Denise. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, Denise Salcedo, and today it is the December 3rd edition. We got SmackDown to talk about. We got Rampage to talk about. We got a lot to get into because we had two pretty solid back-to-back shows. I thought SmackDown was pretty good today. I thought Rampage was pretty good today. So we got a lot to get into. I'm pretty excited to talk about tonight's wrestling events. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. But before we get started, we do got some stuff to talk about. Before I get to the stuff, I do want to let you guys know that this is a very interactive post show. Please make sure you guys take part in the chat. Additionally, if you guys want to get your question statement. Wow, I literally say this every freaking week and now I already forgot. All right, if you guys want to get your question, statement, or whatever read on the air, you can send in a super chat and I will read your super chat. Super chats are very helpful to me because I get to keep 100% of all the proceeds from the super chats. So if you do want to send them in, please send them over my direction. I will very much appreciate it very much. But other than that, we're going to kick things off with SmackDown and then we're going to we're going to go into Rampage. What is up with me today, guys? Jesus, I'm falling apart. We got our first super chat of the day, and this one is from Sinray Punk, who says, WWE doing their absolute best to normalize their mass release by just treating it as part of the show absolutely sucks. Well, there you go. That is our first super chat of the day. We'll have things to talk about because that was a major topic when we were talking about Monday Night Raw, because Raw definitely had a lot of mentions of the releases, and a lot of people did not like that. Not so much this time around, but definitely there was a little bit more mention of that over on the Raw side of things. But thank you so much to Simray G Punk for getting us started here today with the super chat. So we'll get into that in just a second, but we are going to go ahead and I might as well talk really quickly about the upcoming item that I have. So if you follow me on Twitter or on Instagram or on any sort of social media platform, then you officially have heard the news. Good old Hollywood Salcedo is going to be back on WWE programming this Sunday. I am going to be the special guest at NXT War Games, and I'm pretty excited about it. I get to come on and talk about War Games. That's pretty much all I know right now. I haven't been given any other instructions just yet, but I'm pretty excited. This is officially my fourth time making an appearance. However, somebody did bring up that every time I appear on WWE programming, something crazy happens. And it is true. Something crazy always happens when I come on to WWE programming. I do not know why. Maybe I'm bad juju. I have no idea. But hopefully that's not the case this time around. So I did the Hell in a Cell 2019. You guys all know what happened there. And I did I forgot what other pay-per-view I did, but I did another pay-per-view. I think that was the same night that Miz won the WWE Championship. So I was there for that. So we'll see what happens at NXT War Games, but I'm pretty excited. I got the call yesterday, so I had to keep the secret for like a full day, which was killing me because I cannot keep secrets whatsoever, and I like to give people information. So thankfully, I was finally able to talk about it today. So I'm very excited. I hope that you guys will check it out. Come out and support me, guys. It would really mean a lot to me to have your guys' support there on Sunday. So we'll see how that all goes. Wish me luck. Hopefully, I'm not as big of a mess as I am today. We got a super chat from Brandon Charles Powell who says, here you go, Denise. Now quit swearing on Luke's podcast. Dude, I don't know what was going on this morning, but it was like the bad words. They were just coming. Well, it wasn't really a bad word. It was the S word. It's not really a bad word, but it just kind of kept coming out. Thank you so much, Brandon, for this very kind super chat. We got the Cooch97 who says it's the curse of the ojo, Denise, el ojo. For those of you guys who don't speak Spanish, el ojo is the eye. And so the Cooch is just basically saying that I am cursed. I am probably definitely cursed. Rowdy the Count says, are you doing the watch along or the pre-show? I'm doing the pre-show and it will be from remotely. So I won't actually be there in the, there. I will be doing it from here. So from this beautiful little space here. So I'm very excited about that. And we got a super chat from Matthew Makovsky. Thanks so much to Matthew, who says, will you be at SmackDown next week? Still want to meet you so bad. So I am not going to be at SmackDown next week, guys. I know I'm so freaking okay. Well, I'm not like bummed, but like bummed at the same time. So next week SmackDown's going to be taking place in Los Angeles, as you all know, and I have been waiting for somebody to come to Los Angeles like WWE or AEW. We finally got WWE SmackDown. I am not going to be able to go to the actual show because I have been booked. I have been booked to work this MMA promotion that I work with, Lights Out Fighting. They're going to have their event on that day, literally that day. And so like they pay me money. So I'm going to be there. I get paid to be there. I don't get paid to be at SmackDown. So I get paid to be there. So I'm going to be there instead. And I will not be attending SmackDown in LA, which I'm bummed because I really wanted to, but then this came up and I can't say no to money because I got bills. Thank you so much to Matthew McCoskey for asking, though. I'm very sorry that we won't get to meet, but probably on the next one. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and jump in, guys, and let's get into Twitch Face says, how many more super chats will it get to change your mind? I can't, guys. I already committed. To this, and they're already paying me money for that. So it's been settled. But let's get into this, guys. Let's talk SmackDown, and then we'll go ahead and get into Rampage here today. We're going to kick things off with probably my favorite segment of the night. And here's the thing. So first and foremost, I got to tell you guys that I watch SmackDown because I'm out here in LA, so I can't watch SmackDown at the East Coast time. I got to wait for the West Coast time. So because of that, I have to watch on the Fox Sports app so that I can actually watch the East Coast feed instead of the West Coast feed of SmackDown. So the Fox Sports app is terrible. It is god awful. It's a terrible app. I love that it gives me the opportunity to watch SmackDown, but it literally breaks down every single week. I have a brand new issue. Well, I had no idea that apparently I can just type in Fox Sports on my desktop and watch it there. So this whole entire time I've been struggling watching it on the app, on my phone, on this tiny little screen. But anyways, so now I did miss the first 5 minutes of SmackDown, which was very upsetting. But by the time that I got started watching SmackDown, it was perfect because I got right into the meat of what was going down between Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn. And this literally ended up being my favorite thing of the entire night. So we had Brock Lesnar. Basically, like the second I started watching, Brock Lesnar is literally just telling Sami Zayn that he kills, that he hunts, and that he eats things in Saskatchewan, I don't know, someplace in Canada. So the point is that Brock Lesnar pretty much bullied Sami Zayn into not waiting to get his title match against Roman Reigns at day one, but instead doing the match here today in San Antonio, Texas. As you all recall, Sami Zayn did win the Battle Royal that they had, so he is the number one contender. But this was freaking hilarious, guys. This was so funny. If you did not watch this segment, please go out of your way because Funny Brock always gets over. He literally basically forces Sami Zayn to do the match today instead of at day one. And Sami Zayn, poor guy, I felt so bad for him. He was like, you know what, Brock? Like, I don't know. Like, it's not going to work. He was like, I got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And he's trying to come up with all of these excuses to essentially get out of doing the match tonight. And he starts saying, I don't really want to win the title in Texas. I love that. I freaking love that. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But this was funny, guys. Brock Lesnar, in a friendly, casual way, kind of forces him to end up taking the match. And this ends up working out for Brock Lesnar in the end, which we'll talk about once we actually get to the ending of SmackDown. But all you need to know is that this was freaking phenomenal. And I really, really need to see Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar in some sort of talk show. They need to host a Netflix show. I don't care what they do, but I need to see Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar interact so much more. I was even thinking like, damn, I would even take Sami Zayn being Brock Lesnar's manager or like his lackey. I will take anything because they are so funny together. And this really only worked with Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn has this very funny personality. So it works with him to essentially be bullied by Brock Lesnar and not look like he's totally being buried. It works for Sami Zayn because that's his personality. And we'll see how this works out later on tonight. But even backstage, Sami Zayn tries to get out of like having Sonya essentially say that this match is happening. And he tells her, oh, well, you know what? Adam Pearce is not here to make the match. So let's not make the match. But Sonya basically says, we're making the match. It's happening. Whoever wins is facing Brock Lesnar at day one. So we'll get to the main event in just a second. But what did you guys think of this opening segment of SmackDown? Go ahead and let me know in the comments section. And then we'll go ahead and jump into our next spot here. This is a comment from Donzel who says, it was pretty funny, but I prefer Brock as a heel. Dude, like, I feel like Brock Lesnar, whenever he does comedy, it goes over pretty well. Like, I don't feel like there's ever been like a missed opportunity with Brock Lesnar when it comes to like funny stuff. Zeno Hour says, pitch, buddy cop show called Sammy and Brock. Can you imagine them doing like a, what was that one movie that The Rock did with Kevin Hart where they were like the ride along, I think it was, where they did like the buddy cop thing? Yeah, I would like to see that. Or more like a hunting show. Oh my God. Naked and Afraid with Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar trying to survive somewhere in the damn woods. Oh my God. I would sell my soul for that. I would sell my soul for that. And let's go through a couple more comments. This one's from Drew Scott who says, it takes a lot for me to actually bust out laughing, but that Brock Sami promo had me rolling on the floor laughing. It was good stuff, guys. It was really fun. Oh, it wasn't Ride Along? Who was in Ride Along? All right, guys, it's Central Intelligence. My bad, guys. Central Intelligence. I thought it was Ride Along. Damn. Oh, man, I feel terrible. All right, guys, let's move on. So let's get into Shayna versus Sasha Banks. So this was really great. I really enjoyed this match. I really liked it, and this is why. So first and foremost, I feel like we've been getting like a bunch of like the last couple of weeks of SmackDown. I feel like we've been getting a bunch of like random women's matches that I really wasn't all of that like really invested in. You know, I did like when they did Shotzi and Charlotte. That was all fun and dandy. But I feel like it's been like a hot minute since we've actually gotten like a legit match between some of the women. And we got Shayna versus Sasha Banks here tonight. And I really enjoyed this. And the reason why I did was because when you have Sasha Banks working with a competitor like Shayna Baszler, and they're actually going out there and doing what they do best, and they're giving them an opportunity to put on a good match, you get a good match. My favorite thing about this was literally Shayna Banks. Shayna Banks. Oh my God. Shayna Baszler. This is not my day, guys. This is not my day. I'm falling apart here. Shayna Baszler literally being so freaking aggressive with Sasha Banks. I freaking love that. So we see Banks hit the Meteora on Shayna. That was pretty awesome. We see Shayna get Sasha with like a literal like just knee to the face, which was absolutely brutal. And one of my favorite spots was when Shayna got the Karafuda clutch on Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks reversed it into the Banks statement. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal too. Somebody else host this show. This is a disaster. But this match was freaking awesome. I love this. This was a lot of fun. Sasha ended up getting the win. Good stuff. I want to see more matches like this, okay? Like, please, let's do more of this on SmackDown. It felt fresh, it was entertaining, and it was aggressive. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. How did you guys feel about Shayna versus Sasha? Let's get some good comments in here. Let's get a couple of, this one is from Donzel, says Shayna needed this win. No, I'm glad that they had Sasha Banks win this match. I think it was definitely the right way to go. And Zeno Hour confirms that Ride Along was Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. Well, at least I got Kevin Hart right. I knew he was there. I knew somebody was there for that one. Damn. Matt Hensley says Pat calling Shayna Stomp the future Endeavor Stomp was not cool, but I like the match. I didn't catch that actually, so thank you for pointing that out because I did not catch that. So thank you for bringing that up here. We got a comment from Brandon who says Sasha versus Shayna had a great fun match. The Sasha character doesn't scream babyface to me, but she's a great babyface worker, and she brought it to Shayna. I think they both brought the aggression, more so Shayna during this match, but it was still really good. All right, guys, hopping into Happy Talk. This was bad. This was my least favorite part of the show. Like for the opening segment with Brock and Sami Zayn was phenomenal. Shayna and Sasha, phenomenal. The Happy Talk stuff, guys, not working. It's not working because I can handle like the bad comedy. If you do bad comedy, but at least make it like stupid funny, I can get on board with that. Like I'll laugh, I'll have a good time. But this here, I was not having a good time because they're trying to get over these jokes, but they're not funny. They're not even like stupid funny. They're just nothing. I didn't even get them. I was like, what the hell? Like there was one where Riddick Moss or freaking Madcap Moss basically said, oh, if Jeff Hardy was a woman, he would be, or a woman with a child, he said, she would be a swanton mom. And I was like, what? What? And then they had something about Drew McIntyre checking some sort of list. He would be a Scottish warrior. They weren't funny. They were terrible jokes. And I think that's the point, which is even worse. They were terrible, guys. Like I could not even tell you one funny part about this. We finally had Drew come out. He distracts both of them. Jeff Hardy comes out from behind and he gets the twist of fate on one of them. I forget if it was Baron Corbin or Madcap Moss. He gets them on one of them and they end up taking off their shirts, or they probably already had their shirts off. They put on the hats that were there and they start dancing. So it looks like they're recreating Magic Mike. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like this was my least favorite segment of the night for sure. But let's see what we got here, guys. Let's go through a couple of comments. Anybody here find this interesting? This is a comment from Church of Platinum who says that's a load of suffering. Succotash? Succotash. Damn, guys, don't give me hard words. I can't pronounce any hard words today, guys. It's all going down the drill. The drain. Oh my God. Let's see what else we got here. We got Drew Scott bringing up Corbin's outfit. I did laugh when Pat McAfee pointed out Corbin's shins. His shins. He was freaking out. I think about like his tattoos or something. I thought that was probably funny. That was it. That was about it, guys. That was it. Sarah Machine Gus says, Happy Talk needs to be Shayna's future endeavor kicked. Yeah, I agree. Happy Talking doing it for me, guys. But I've been pretty much not a fan of all these talk shows for quite some time. All right, guys, let's move on to something that I actually did like. And I liked this last week, or the last time that we saw it, and I liked it again this week. And that is Zaya Lee's promo. So she has another vignette playing, another comic book-like vignette. And I like this, guys. I like what they're doing with her. Like, I'm excited to see what they do with Zaya Lee. Like, this is working for me. Now, granted, because it's working for me, I'm a little bit nervous as to how it's going to be executed once she actually finally makes her official debut, because they've been playing all these vignettes. And like I said last week, it really reminds me of the Sailor Moon character. That's exactly what this feels like. And I like that. I love that. She basically is telling the story about two guys, one of them who essentially blocks her path, one who tries to steal her bag, and she basically kicks both of their butts. And she says that she's tired of, people mistaking women to be weak, and she's tired of the small being considered disempowered. So she is standing up for those people that can't necessarily defend themselves. She is like their protector. And she goes on to say, she goes on to say, like, she's here to defend the people. I really, really enjoy that. So I hope that when they do bring her on to SmackDown, I really hope that they continue this and they continue having her be that person. And if they have her do this with Charlotte Flair, because right now they have Charlotte doing the whole her not helping out the women in the locker room, her being this and that, them painting Charlotte Flair as like really evil. If you were to have Zaya Lee come in and be like the polar opposite, and she's coming in here as the defender of the people, I think that would be pretty awesome. That's just an idea, but I really hope they don't drop the ball on Zaya Lee, because that's the thing that I personally want. Like, I want to see more like female, like strong, empowered characters, and they have something here with Zaya Lee. So hopefully they keep it going, and they keep it going strong, and don't drop the ball on that one, because they got something with this character. We got a super chat from Chris Ludek, who says, I honestly like the Sami Zayn Lesnar segments. I feel Sami being the dumb goof to Brock as a serious straight man was a good dynamic. It is. It 100% is, because you have Brock Lesnar, who is basically, he's bullying him, and Sami Zayn knows that he's being bullied, and Sami Zayn is terrified of getting his ass whooped by Brock Lesnar. So he's doing what Brock Lesnar wants him to do. It goes bad for Sami Zayn later on in the night, but it comes full circle. I thought they really did a good job of telling this story in literally one night with Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar. In one night, they put over the Sami Zayn Brock Lesnar situation, and it was probably like the most over thing they've had on the show in a very long time. Thank you so much to Chris Ludek for sending in that super chat. But let's get some comments in here. Let's see. This one is from Mac Hensley, who says, finally, Zaya Lee has a date. She's debuting. I hope they don't screw this up, but I also have zero faith in WWE at this point. I'm trying not to get too excited. That's pretty much how I feel. I don't want them to drop the ball on this character. They have so much there. They have so much there for her. And Mike New York says, I have a feeling Zaya Lee will attack Naomi. It doesn't make sense for them to do that, though, because Zaya Lee, based on her promo, she should be a babyface. If she comes in as a heel, to me, it would not make sense to have Zaya Lee come in as a heel. It would not make sense. You literally have her being this protector. You're going to have her come in as a heel. That doesn't make sense. And Naomi is a babyface, so you can't have her coming in and attacking Naomi. That would not make sense at all. Maybe she could attack Sonya Deville for being a bully to Naomi, but then at the same time, it's like you don't want her helping solve Naomi's problems. You don't want that. So that doesn't make sense either. But no, she needs to come in as a babyface, I think. She definitely needs to come in as a babyface. And we got a lot of people saying they think Zaya Lee might help Sonya win next week. That would be the right way to go about it if they were to do something like that. But she could not come in as a heel with those vignettes, the way that they've been promoting her. All right, guys, let's continue on. We got the Viking Raiders versus Los Lotharios, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. This kind of made me mad. And the reason why this made me mad is because this match could have had so much more potential in terms of it could have been a better match, okay? So I was enjoying this. Now, I'm not complaining too hard because I'm pretty sure we're going to see this match again and again, but I liked what they were doing, like the first couple of minutes that we had here with Viking Raiders and Los Lotharios. So I like this because there was literally just a couple of spots that I like, but I like Humberto doing that dive out. I think it was onto Ivar, and he literally just like his head just like hit straight into his chest or like his gut or something. But I really like that moment. But we got a little bit of action here, and it was quickly, and I mean quickly, ruined by Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I'm tired. I'm so tired of the whole like music thing. I'm over it. I'm done. They were playing the guitar. This ended up essentially like causing like we didn't need the distraction from them. We did not need this distraction. This match could have been good had it not been cut short, and that kind of bummed me out. We did see Los Lotharios get the win, but it could have been a better match. Like we can't expect those Lotharios to be taken seriously until we see them go out in the ring and really show what they can do. And if they keep ending matches the way that they have been, or like the way that they did this one, they're not going to get over. No one's going to get over. Los Lotharios aren't going to get over. Viking Raiders aren't going to get over. And freaking Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura aren't going to get over here either. So I did not like the finish to this match, which bummed me out, because a couple more minutes of this match and it would have been a fun tag team matchup. I really thought this match had potential. I was really digging it up until this point here. But we got a super chat from 554K who says, thanks for giving coverage on all wrestling content. I like to keep up with the shows from WWE, even though I don't watch it as much. You're my favorite. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, man. You guys have no idea what your support means to me literally on every single show and like everywhere. So thank you very much for the very kind super chat. And let's get through a couple of comments here. Anybody have anything that they want to add to this? This one's from Drew, who says, I totally missed this match, but I wish WWE would let the Viking Raiders get back to their NXT days. It's crazy the athleticism Ivar has, but they never let him showcase it. No, they have him hit the same couple of spots in all his matches, and that's kind of about it. They just need to remove like the cartoon. They're too animated right now. They're too cartoonish. I want to see them as like Viking Raiders, like killers, not Viking Raiders. Hey, we're on the Disney parade, you know, like we need to get rid of that, like animated cartoonish vibe. We need to get rid of it. Let's move on, because after this we had Toni Storm cut a promo. She looked great tonight, guys. Toni Storm looked great. She has this backstage interview with Kayla Braxton. She basically tells Kayla she's not intimidated. She's not afraid of Charlotte. She's not impressed by her accomplishments. She says that she knows that she has gotten into Charlotte's head and that she is going to prove Charlotte wrong in all the things that Charlotte Flair has been saying about her. And she says she's going to be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. After this, we do have Charlotte Flair cut a promo. She goes into the ring and she basically says number one doesn't talk about number two. And she feels that she's even giving Toni Storm way too much by even mentioning her name. So the story here is Charlotte Flair is saying Toni Storm's not on her level. Toni Storm is basically saying she's going to prove Charlotte Flair wrong. There's a bunch of pies that are included into the storyline because last week Toni Storm got 2 pies to the face, and this week she got her revenge on Charlotte Flair with the pie to her face. Now, we have a good story here in terms of like, we all know that Charlotte Flair and Toni Storm are on 2 different levels. Now, the pie thing is not my favorite. It's a little silly, but whatever. They're still telling a other story here, which is what I do appreciate. I do like the fact that we're getting Charlotte Flair basically saying like, she ain't on my level. I love that. Like, I love Charlotte coming out here and basically addressing how people aren't at the same level as her. I think that she works really well as a heel, and we all know that already because she comes out every single week and she puts on really good promos and really gets under the people's skin. And then you have Toni Storm, who is a fan favorite. Like, regardless, she's a fan favorite. People are going to root for her. So I'm excited to see the dynamic of how all of this works out. The pie stuff, I mean, that could be eliminated, but whatever. Whatever. What else can you say about that? I also did like that Charlotte Flair did mention that, contrary essentially to popular belief, that she is that she does uplift the other women in the locker room. I kind of thought that that was interesting to add to this promo here. But we got a comment from Lenny Banner, who says, I can't with stuff like this. I don't see how any of this pie stuff is helping either women. Stuff like this makes it difficult to get into. And they really don't need the pie stuff. They have a story. They don't need the pie. They really don't. So hopefully after this, they don't bring it up anymore. Like, I get Toni Storm getting her revenge and getting the pie in Charlotte's face because Charlotte did it to her last week. Cool. That's it. Drop it. Continue on. Like, obviously continue the story, but don't continue. You don't have to focus so much on the pie stuff. But it could be worse. It could be an egg. Kyle Rochelle says, I like Toni Storm, but I feel that Charlotte is a bit boring for a while. I hope with these two face each other, it will be better than the pie stuff. I'm a big Charlotte Flair fan. She's my favorite woman's wrestler. So for me, like, I can't, like, I'm a big fan. Like, when people say they think Charlotte's boring or they don't like Charlotte, like, I'm the polar opposite. I love Charlotte. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Lord Pelagia says, we don't need the pie. Actual analysis of WWE in 2021 says it all, really. Marcus8915 says, pie on a pole match, book it, Vince. Jesus. Hey, if it's cream cheese pie, count me in. All right. We got a quick match between King Woods and Jey Uso. Really nothing much to say here, guys. This was one of those matches that was cut short, ended in DQ. Kofi Kingston is back. That's pretty much it. Let's move on to Cesaro versus Sheamus. Cesaro versus Sheamus was a banger. I like Cesaro versus Sheamus. This was good. This was fun. This was a short matchup that felt entertaining the entire way through, top to bottom, this was a fun, hard-hitting match between two guys who have a lot of history with one another, wrestle a similar style, and they go out there and just beat each other up. I love this, okay? So you had Ridge Holland watching as this match progresses. You know, he's doing the whole protege stuff with Sheamus. Okay, cool, whatever. Didn't take away from the match because they showed this early on. I like that. I hate when they're in the middle of the match and they show like somebody else watching backstage. They do this all the time. For me, it takes away from the actual match. But anyways, we got a lot of really good stuff. We had a nice backbreaker from Sheamus right at the top. We had some nice uppercuts between the both of them. There was a moment too where Cesaro just kind of went from like being level 1 of pissed off to like level 10 being pissed off. He essentially went and started throwing like a bunch of body shots at Sheamus, and then he goes, they're on the outside, and he does like a running uppercut to Sheamus, literally knocking him over to like the timekeeper's area. I really like that. Then from there, they go into like the front of the commentary table, and he literally just starts smashing Sheamus's head right into the commentary table. I love that too. Like Cesaro kind of like leveling it up and getting like extra pissed off at Sheamus. Oh, it did it for me, and it did it for me good. Let's see what else we got here. We even had them exchanging some words with one another. There was a moment where Cesaro was like, I loved you like a brother, or you were like a brother to me, right? So there's this like passion. It was very, very good because even though it wasn't a long match, it wasn't, a 5-star performance. For what it was really good. It was a good, compact match. Sheamus hits the bro kick, gets the win. This was good. Like, if you didn't watch SmackDown, I would recommend go and watch this match. It won't take up too much of your time, and it'll actually be entertaining all the way through. Like, I like this. Please, more of this stuff, guys. Let's see what we got here, guys. Any other comments on this one? This one's from Brandon, who says, 2 guys hitting each other as hard as they can. That's my favorite style in wrestling. AFC and TP says, I'd come to terms with Cesaro never getting the position on the card he deserves, but that push he had around WrestleMania sold me. Yeah, guys. I mean, I was saying it. They slotted Cesaro. He's been slotted for a very long time. But when he goes out there, dude's impressive, has great matches. But unfortunately, he has been slotted, which kind of hurts because when you put him in those positions to, when you put him in, like, for example, when he was up in that match with Roman Reigns, we all knew Cesaro wasn't going to win. But it takes away when you slot somebody and you keep him there. It takes away from the believability of, hey, maybe, just maybe, he could actually get a win here. Now, I know it's hard to say that because Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns, but still, you want to have the believability that there's a good chance that he might just win there. So, unfortunately, they already slotted him. He's been slotted for a very long time, but you can always expect some good matches. I mean, his match with his WrestleMania match with Seth Rollins was phenomenal too. Everything Cesaro does has been very, very entertaining, and this was definitely one of them. We got a comment from Marcus8915 who says, Sheamus is such a good worker. He has been putting on some of the best matches of the year. Yep, Sheamus did a lot of good stuff, especially over on Raw. His matches with Matt Riddle were great. Some of the highlights of Raw during that period of time. Let's move on really quickly. So Sonya essentially Naomi challenges Sonya. Sonya accepts. Sonya slaps her brutally across the face. They announced this match is officially, finally, after months and months and months, we are finally getting Sonya versus Naomi, and that's going to be taking place in the LA show. So hopefully, I think it'll be a good one if they actually don't do any sort of swerve, because last time they did a swerve. I don't think they'll do a swerve this time. I think this time we're actually getting the legit match. So we'll see how that one works out. I'm just glad that they're finally doing the freaking match. Main event, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to Rampage. All right, so Sammy versus Roman Reigns. This came full circle, guys. Sammy Brock Lesnar was the bread and butter of SmackDown here tonight, all right? This was the cream cheese and the bagel of the show, all right? It was good stuff. And so we talked about how the show kicked off, essentially Brock Lesnar forcing Sami Zayn to take this match. So before this match even begins, Sami Zayn addresses the crowd, and he basically says that, he didn't want to win his title in Texas. Love this. The crowd is booing him like crazy. And then he starts telling off the crowd. He starts basically saying, like, I'm about to win this championship. And none of you guys were here for me. None of you guys believed me when I was talking about the WWE conspiracy that was against me. So Sami Zayn is doing he's celebrating practically winning the title even before he even has the match. And so he's telling off the crowd, and he's basically saying the only person that, you know, basically saying that has a right to be not happy for him, but like the only person he's giving any sort of credit to is Brock Lesnar, who he even goes out of his way to call Brock Lesnar his guardian angel. Sami Zayn went as far to call Brock Lesnar his guardian angel. Anyway, so you know Brock Lesnar is going to come out. Brock Lesnar comes out, and I'm thinking, oh man, Sami Zayn just put his damn foot in his mouth. Brock Lesnar is going to kill him right now. And that is exactly what happened. Brock Lesnar comes out, Sami Zayn continues to put his foot in his mouth, and Brock Lesnar ends up hitting him with, I think it was 3 suplexes, and he hits him with 2 F5s and literally just leaves them there like a carcass waiting for Roman Reigns to come out. Now, Roman Reigns finally gets there after like a 40-minute entrance, comes in and essentially spears Sami Zayn, gets him with the guillotine, 2 moves, bam, Sami Zayn taps out, and that is the end of it. So Brock Lesnar fed Sami Zayn to Roman Reigns to get him the hell out of the picture. And now at day 1, we're going to have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Personally, I liked how they told this entire story. It was one of my favorite things that they've done on SmackDown. And please let this not be the end of some sort of interaction between Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar. I need more Sami and Brock interactions. I know it wouldn't make sense to the story, but I still need it selfishly. So there you guys go. That was SmackDown. Any last thoughts on SmackDown? And we're going to go ahead and move on to AEW Rampage. Let's see what we got here. This is from Piledriver Finisher, who says Brock Lesnar and Al Generico could become a tag team, very much like AEW Serpentico and Luther. Sarah Machine Gun says Sami was out there for an hour before Brock even laid a hand on him, then was gone in 10 seconds. Yeah, he was there for a bit, actually. This is a comment from Lenny, who says, what a waste of time. If the end game was going to be Brock getting the title match anyway, why waste time with a battle royal that doesn't even result in a meaningful match? Imagine if AEW had with See, here's the thing, though. I'm not, like, I get where you're coming from, because but the battle royal was literally like a last minute thing that was tossed in, and there's been like so many like meaningless battle royals. At least they gave something to it. Having Sami Zayn win, we all knew Sami Zayn was not going to essentially become champion. We all knew that. And this only worked because it was Sami Zayn. Like, had it been Cesaro when they did this, oh, that would have been terrible. But because it was Sami Zayn, and because that's his character and his personality works with the story, that's the only reason why I did not hate this, because Sami Zayn made it work. He made it work. So I did not hate this. We all knew we were going to get Roman Brock again. We all knew it. This was just a quick way to sort of get it out of the way and add a little story element before we actually get to the matchup here. So I did not hate this. We got a bunch of people saying justice for Sami, stand with Sami. Sami Zayn got screwed. Poor Sami. All right, guys, we're going to move on. But before we do, friendly reminder, if you guys haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to F4W Online. If you're watching on Twitch, listening to the audio version, or if you're already here on YouTube, please make sure to head on over to F4W Online over on YouTube. And please make sure to click that subscribe button. I think we're definitely way past 80,000 now. I forget exactly where we're at right at this moment, but we are still trying to make our way to 100K. Please make sure you guys subscribe. There is lots of content literally posted on this channel daily, including my shows, which I am live on Tuesdays to talk about NXT 2.0. Wednesdays, AEW Dynamite, my most popular show of the week. And then Fridays, I'm here to talk about Rampage and SmackDown, as we just did. Next week, I will be here to do Tuesday's NXT coverage. I will be here to do Wednesday's AEW Dynamite coverage. However, I will not be doing the SmackDown Rampage show this Friday because, again, I will be working that other show. So I'll be doing that. But I'll try to figure out what I'm gonna do to sort of replace that stream. If you guys have any of ideas or anything you guys want me to do, please hit me up and let me know on Twitter or something like that. I'll appreciate that. But now let's go ahead and get into AEW Rampage. We had a pretty good show today, guys. I thought today's show was pretty good. Like overall, like there wasn't like anything explosive, but it was still a solid show overall. Like there was not a moment where I felt bored. We got some good wrestling and we kicked the show off with some good wrestling, which was Sammy Guevara versus Tony Nese for the TNT title. Now, I had mentioned before that this was going to be like a test for Tony Nese because he was, prior to this match, 4-0. He had wins over on Dark and Dark Elevation, but obviously not everybody watches Dark and Dark Elevation. So this was his official TV AEW debut on Rampage. So for me, the way I saw it was he's either going to get over today or he's not going to get over with the people, okay? So, I mean, I think based on what we saw here tonight, I enjoyed this match a lot more than I was expecting to enjoy it. I thought that Tony Nese showed a lot of versatility. He showed a lot of his technical performances, a lot of his technical abilities in this match. But then he also showed a lot of his actual, his high-flying skills. We saw a lot of that. Tony Nese is very, very fundamentally sound in the ring, and that definitely came through here tonight. The one thing that I would say that is missing, and I do hope he kind of like works through, is the one thing that I do think is missing with Tony Nese is just he needs to add a little bit more he needs to add just a little bit more pizzazz, more oomph, needs to work with the crowd just a little bit more, maybe show a little bit more personality to really connect with the crowd, because even though like I appreciate what he's doing out there in the ring, I don't feel a connection. Like I don't have that connection like the way you do with some of like the other guys that you see. So I almost feel like sometimes the character of Tony Nese, it falls a little flat for me. So I'm still missing that connection with Tony Nese. Like I like the in-ring work, but in order for him to be like one of my favorites, there needs to be a little bit more. So that's kind of how I felt like the overall gist of what I saw here today. In terms of like Sammy's title defenses, the story here we had is that Sammy Guevara is still selling the ribs. He's still selling the ribs. He's got the tape around the ribs, etc. So Tony Nese basically worked his ribs and also his left leg throughout this entire match. We saw him, stomp on him. We saw him, pretty much do anything he possibly could to keep Sammy Guevara essentially not able to really get on his feet and do all of these high-flying maneuvers that he's used to doing. But Sammy Guevara still was able to do that. So I like that the story of this match was that Tony Nese saw the issue with Sammy Guevara. He took advantage of that issue and played it to his advantage. But Sammy Guevara, so early in his TNT championship reign, was not going to just give it up so easily to Tony Nese. He was going to basically do everything in his power to retain his title. And that is exactly what we saw throughout this entire match. We saw that back and forth where Sammy Guevara is suffering. He's going through pain, but hey, it's not enough to keep him down. And eventually we do see Sammy Guevara get the win here, but we did get to see a lot from Tony Nese, like I mentioned, including a nice 450 splash. We saw Sammy Guevara did his Spanish fly. We saw some dives. We saw a little bit of everything in this match, and it kind of went a little long too, but I appreciated it. I liked the story, and it kept me engaged throughout the entire thing. In terms of anything else that I want to add to this was not my favorite Sammy Guevara title defense. I think my favorite one was still what he did with Ethan Page and Jay Lethal. I thought those were two really good matches. But in terms of the story and in terms of him really caring about being TNT champion, I think that really was the premise of what I feel I got from this match here. So guys, send in your thoughts. How did you feel about Tony Nese, Sammy Guevara? How did you feel about the match, etc.? Let's get some thoughts in here. All right, guys, let's see what we got here. We got some Cody Santello says Tony Nese looks good. I love that one-legged Boston Crab. I love that too. I especially love how commentary really put that over and really talked about how that was affecting Sammy Guevara during this match. I like that as well. We got people here that miss Miro as a champion. Yeah, we're definitely on to an entire new chapter of the TNT title. And this is coming from the Cooch97 who says, Sammy springboard moonsault off the top rope is a 10 out of 10. The Olympics makes it look so easy. 554K says that first match was really good. I really enjoyed it. Let's see what we got here. This is from Mac who says, Tony is good at all the flippy stuff and all. There's just about a million other people who are just as good, so he doesn't need to stand out much. See, for me, it's different, guys. Like, I need a little bit of both for me to become a big fan of somebody. But we'll get some more chair relax as he's the Dean Malenko of this era. And 554K says that there was a lot of great spots in this match. I agree. Our Rig says, I don't have anything against Tony, but there are plenty of others who can do what he does as well as he does. A good match, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's technically sound in there, fundamentally sound, all of that, can do a little bit of everything, but you need to have that connection also with the crowd, and that's the one little tiny element that I would like to see him work on, you know? That's the one thing. You got to have a connection with the crowd, guys. That's how people get over. That's how stars are made. You got to have a connection. So let's see what we got here. And this is coming from Pro Wrestling Fan who says, I think Nese looked great. My second favorite match of his was his match with Murphy at WrestleMania 35. And glad AEW signed somebody from WWE that wasn't necessarily getting the spotlight on him. Exactly. And now is his time to essentially like prove himself, you know? Like, show yourself. Go out there and show yourself. All right, let's get into this. What else do we got after this? All right, so let's get into Jade versus Janae Kai. So this was interesting, guys. Before we do, we got a super chat from Reggie Simmons who says, just saying, what's up, my sister? Love the show. Thank you so much, Reggie. I appreciate the super chat. Once again, guys, if you do want to send in a super chat, I do keep 100% of the proceeds from all super chats. So they do help me out if you guys want to send some in. All right, so we had Jade Cargill against this match with Janae Kai. I hope I'm saying her name right, but she's the kick demon, and she's one of the students of Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa came out and did commentary during this. This was a very, 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 very fast match. This was a squash, okay? This was a squash. That's what this was. So if you wanted to see a little bit of more of who Janae is, you didn't really get that opportunity. You didn't really get to see much because it was a squash. But so I'm not as familiar with her as maybe some other people are, but I know that she has done stuff for GCW, Ring of Honor, Shimmer, etc. But I have not been able to see her work fully, but this was a good spot for her. At the end of the day, she got some TV time on Rampage against Jade Cargill, who they are clearly pushing and making into a big star. What I really did love from this was the post-match action between Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill. This was badass. So I love this because Thunder Rosa went out there and she was just like ready to get her hands on Jade Cargill, and it showed. I love this. She went in there and she was like, she was freaking punching her. We see Jade Cargill essentially kind of, they were going back and forth here. You know, they were brawling, and you really could tell that it was good. That's what I'm trying to get at, guys. It was good. I like this. I like this because Thunder Rosa was pissed off at Jade Cargill already in the first place, but then post-match, even after she already beat her student, she still got her with that pump kick afterwards. So, like, she didn't need to continue beating her up. She had already won the match. So Thunder Rosa takes off the earrings, leaves commentary, and goes in to handle business. This was fun. I love the brawl. I can't wait to see Jade and Thunder Rosa. It's going to be a good time, guys. It's going to be a good time. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, let's see what we got here. This is from Question the Mark, who says Rosa could get a good match out of Jade. Jade just has to keep it simple right now. Yeah, and you can tell. That's the thing, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure they're going to have her win the TBS Women's Championship, but we know that we're not going to get like these like high work rate matches with Jade as champion, though. We're going to get very simple matches. If she gets like, if she's going to have good matches with anybody, it's going to be with people like Thunder Rosa. It's going to be with people like Ruby Soho. It's going to be with people like that she gets good matches with. But like anybody else, it's going to have to be very simple and very, very basic. And personally, like, they've been really good at like protecting her and making sure that they show her strengths, that they highlight her strengths versus her flaws. But it is going to be one of those things where I'm curious to see how her reign as champion would work if they do decide to have her become champion. But I have a feeling that it's definitely going to be Jade. And let's see what we got here. This is from Marcus, who says it's likely that Jade Cargill will win the TBS title, but I really want to see Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Soho. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. That's like the match that I think most people wanted to see. But yeah, guys, I definitely do think that it's going to be there's a good chance that it'll be Jade. But let's see what we got here. And we also have, so that's going to be interesting, guys. And we've been talking about this TBS Women's Championship tournament for a while, because whoever's the first, it's going to mean something regardless. The first is the first at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. But either way, Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup, and it's going to have heat. That's the thing too. Like, this isn't just going to be like a competitive match, or not. This isn't going to be like a just, oh, we want to continue on in the tournament, etc. Thunder Rosa brings this like element of fire to the match, which is what we saw here today. So because of that, there's going to be a little bit more, a little bit extra sizzled on top of, hey, I just want to win and be the first TBS Women's Champion. I think that having Jade and Thunder Rosa is going to add a little bit more. It's going to be maybe a little bit more personal, which I think is going to add so much more to the actual story. So we'll see what happens there. All right, guys, really quickly, we also had the Young Bucks say they're returning to action on Dynamite, tag team action. They're going to be facing Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor. So yay, Rocky Romero's coming back to Dynamite. So we're going to be seeing that. That match was announced. We also got a quick promo with Eddie Kingston, who basically says that he does not care that 2.0 and Daniel Garcia attacked Chris Jericho over on freaking Dynamite. And he basically says that 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, they reap what they sow. Really short promo. It seems that from what we got from Eddie Kingston and Jericho, I kind of feel like they're going to be stuck into a position where they end up working together, but they don't want to work together, because Jericho on his promo on Dynamite specifically emphasized that he didn't help out Eddie Kingston to help out Eddie Kingston. Like, he did it more so because he wanted to essentially attack 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, not so much to help out Eddie Kingston. And then Eddie Kingston comes in, and the first thing he says is, I don't care about Jericho. So you had those two similarities where they're like kind of not wanting to do it for each other, but yet they're kind of being forced to be on the same page, sort of on the same team, without actually being on the same page. It's just that they have the exact same enemy. So there you go. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So here we go. We got our main event of the night, a very solid and entertaining performance. We had Pac and Penta teaming up together to face FTR. This was good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. There was a lot that I liked from this, and I'll kind of start off because mainly what I think what I just liked was that it was a solid performance. You got to see all of these guys pretty much do what they do best, and that's what was fun. Immediately you see Cash hit a leapfrog, but Penta, who's somebody who has worked with FTR countless times, literally just like kicks him right in the stomach and blocks him from like continuing on with what he wanted to do. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed all of the strikes that we saw from Pac onto Dax Harwood. That was really fun. They played up the whole eye patch thing. So Pac had his eye patch due to the miss that he got from Malachi Black. And so during this match, he had looking like a pirate, wearing the freaking eye patch. And throughout this match, we saw how that working with the eye patch, something that he's not used to, sort of affected him in the actual match. You had him going on like, you saw him go for like a springboard off the top rope, but he couldn't. Instead, he just slipped because the eye patch, I guess, was affecting his performance. So you got to see that. We saw a shotgun drop kick from the top rope from Pac to Dax. That was pretty cool. We see Pac essentially chop both members of Penta chopping both members of FTR. That was pretty cool too. We see Penta do a crossbody, go for the pin. It ends up being a near fall. That was pretty fun as well. We got a couple of near falls throughout this match, and then we see Tony get taken out. He tries to distract the referee, but he ends up getting taken out by Pac. And then afterwards, we see Pac hit a moonsault on FTR. That was a really nice moonsault from him. And just about the moment where they are going to get the win, Pac and Penta, we see Malachi Black come out, get involved, throws a mist in Pac's eyes, and that is how they're able to essentially lose this match because of that. But here's the thing though, is that afterwards we see Malachi Black just go absolutely savage, and I mean savage, on Pac. He literally, so he gets the mist on him, and Pac is like there trying to protect his one eye. And then Malachi Black just gets on top of him, and he starts like putting his fingers inside of Pac's eyes. I wasn't even clear on what he was doing. There was a moment where I think he was biting him. I don't even know, but he was getting very, very like aggressive. And I'm like, bro, if you want an eye for an eye match against Pac, just tell us. Just tell us if you want an eye for an eye match. But either way, this was a really fun match. I did like how kind of creepy Malachi Black came off with the whole eye thing. It kind of made me cringe a little bit because at the end of the day, it's somebody's eyeballs. But either way, I like this. It shows the dark side of Malachi Black, which I am here for. So what did you guys think? Go ahead and let me know. How did you feel about this episode of Rampage? How did you feel about this main event? Let's see what we got here. This one is from... And our rig says so Pac is probably now completely blind. Yeah, poor guy, man. Dude's gonna have to come out like freaking, I don't know, with a blindfold on or something. I don't know what he's gonna have to do, man. That's pretty messed up. I don't know what Malachi Black's obsession is with the whole eye thing. He's really bringing that over with him. We got a comment from 554K who says, that was another great match. FTR, great heels. Love all the spots in the match, and the mist and post-match attack was brutal for real. It was brutal. Like, it made me sort of like cringe. It was pretty freaking good. Let's see what we got here. MCASPedo64 says Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins to AEW confirmed. Seriously though. Let's see. And I forgot to mention this too. Penta got unmasked as well. Almost forgot to mention that also happened as well. Marcus City 915 says the main event was really good. Do you think they're overdoing Penta getting unmasked? Nah, it happens all the time. So it's just that we're not used to seeing it like on American television, always seeing this, but this happens all the time. Let's see what we got here. That's pretty much it, guys. There you go. SmackDown, Rampage, two pretty good shows. A lot of good stuff that went down. I hope you guys enjoyed this review slash opinions, whatever this show is essentially being promoted as. But either way, I hope you guys had a good time. Please do not forget to come back next week. Again, I will be here to talk about NXT 2.0 on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I will be here to talk about Dynamite. Please make sure you guys come back for those really different shows, but we make it work. Two totally different shows, but we have a good time. We make it work. Also, please do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and then Sunday, tune into the NXT War Games pre-show because I will be on there. So please come out, check out the show. Hopefully I don't do terrible, so hopefully you guys will see me on there. But yeah, other than that, have a great weekend, everybody. I thank you guys so much for everything, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for NXT 2.0 coverage. Bye, everybody. Take care.